church is boring. No, church is not boring, it's just that you're not interested in it. So I try to think about it a little bit more, if preachers could cry a little bit more. I have to check myself about crying at funerals. Sometimes that bothers me, and sometimes I won't. I refuse to look at the bride's mother. Don't look at her. I can cry at those times, but just can't be effective in crying before a crowd of people and telling you, please send in another $100. We need 500 more people to send in $100 this month. I've never been able to do that, and I don't shout very well. Thus saith the Lord. That works for some people. It doesn't work for me. But one of the things a preacher could do is to be more political, because everybody's got political opinions. So I'm taking a survey. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, I'm for it. 2, I'll watch the others. 3, no way. Should judges serve by the will of the political leadership? 1, 2, or 3. You're all for that? You'll watch the others? Or you're against it?
3.
Not yet. I'm not going to make you make a commitment yet. People have the right to abolish an existing form of government and create a new one. 1, 2, 3. 1, you're for that. 2, you'll watch the others to see whether you should move out or not. 3, you're absolutely opposed to it. The third one. All people have the right to pursue happiness and liberty. 1, 2, 3. Going to contribute some money for that cause? Let the others contribute it. Or absolutely opposed to it. You'll give money for the opposite. And the last one, all people are created equal. 1, 2, 3. Well, the first question, I hope a lot of you said 3.
Yeah.
The idea of judges should be under the whim of the political leadership. The county freeholders, governor of the state, or president of the United States. They should be able to change judges whenever they want to. Thus, from the Declaration of Independence, that's one of our complaints about King George. The judges that he sent here were under him. They didn't serve the people here. So that's good. People have the right to abolish an existing form of government. When it comes to change, we're not all for that. But that's in the Declaration of Independence. The people should have a right to change government. The government no longer serves them. You should have the right to change it. Now, the last 2 become a little bit more obvious. All have the right to pursue happiness and liberty. Everybody pick number 1 on that? Everybody. Okay. And the third one, that all people are created equal. You all agree with that? Contribute some money to our... Okay. All of us from the Declaration of Independence, our celebration this Thursday, right? 200 and some years old. Still very much alive, isn't it? Still very, very much alive. So we're celebrating that. July the 4th, 1776. The Second Continental Congress voted on it. They began talking about it a year earlier. In June of 1776, they put together a committee of 56 men. There were only men involved in government then. We didn't have to worry about Harris or Hillary or anybody else. They were just all men. They got together. And they talked about, they listed up some of their complaints and so forth. And then they asked Thomas Jefferson to put it together. Thomas Jefferson was 33 years old. Yeah. John Adams said he has a reputation for literature and science and a happy talent for composition. And so Tom Jefferson curled up in his apartment at 2nd and Broad Street in Philadelphia, and in 1/2 a day wrote the Declaration of Independence. Took it to the committee. They made 5 minor changes in it, put it before the Congress. They adopted it and made the declaration on July the 4th. July the 4th. They united the colonies. They had a common focus and a common fear. The British are coming. The British are coming. And a common fear. Not all were in favor of it. we're not all in favor of anything. Not all were in favor of it. The Anglican priest ran back home to England, gave a big open door to the Methodist circuit riders. They did very well. You know, some of them liked their British citizenship, so they moved north to Canada. Not all were in favor of it. It was difficult, uncertain times. Franklin moved across the seas to France. He spent many months over there, wined and dined the French people and the French ladies, and got the French on our side. And it made a difference. And in the end, we won. We won. History tells us the English had some other concerns that they were involved with, you know, but in the end, we won. Liberty, freedom. They're not absolutes, are they? You can't ride down on the street, an avenue, or a highway or superhighway any direction you want to go or any speed you want to go. Freedom, liberty, all have certain order. You have to have some order to all of this. And some people like order. They like a lot of order. Some people like to make so many rules they'll force other people to be good. Usually they want to aim at other people, make those kind of people behave, you know. And child psychologists tell us, you know, that a child needs some structure. They need some structure to thrive. Too much structure does what? Stifles them. Stifles them. My daughter-in-law asked me, what rules did you have raising your children? I couldn't think of it. Oh, you must have some. The one thing I think, listen, do you know how to behave, or do you and I have to sit down and have a talk about this? Some people just like to have a lot of rules. In the Bible, the gospel speaks about a new freedom. A new freedom for God's people. A new freedom in Jesus Christ. You have the Old Testament, you have the New Testament. You have the old way, you have the new way. You have the old way based on laws, rules, regulations, statutes, ordinances, and commandments. 639 of them, depending on how you count them. And don't think there weren't some people that knew all of them. Catch you and wave their finger at you. So the gospel speaks to us about this whole new approach in our relationship to God. Yes, Jesus taught us some specific things. Turn the other cheek. Be anxious to forgive one another. But basically he said, love the Lord your God with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And love your neighbor and love yourself. I've shortened that. Love God and do as you please. Because it will not please you to do anything that diminishes you or hurts you or diminishes your neighbor or hurts them. Based on love. A whole new thriving relationship with God based on a loving relationship, a caring relationship with one another. The gospel message. So the Declaration of Independence signed by 56 men of all different ages. Franklin was 70, Jefferson was 33, Livingston was 29, a lot of young men. Many of them were people of faith and people who have studied the philosophy behind the Declaration of Independence, see it as a Christian declaration, a biblical declaration. And they agreed with what Paul said to the Galatians. God who gave us life gave us freedom. Not chaos, but freedom. And so we cherish that and we celebrate that. The Declaration of Independence. Radical. Do some of you agonize over that 1, 2, 3? A little bit. I mean, most of us say, oh, I'll watch and see what happens. That's always the easiest way. You know, that's what people say in a primary election. Do you vote in the primary? No, I don't vote in the primary. Well, 15% of the people vote in the primary, they choose the candidate that's going to run for their party. 15%. People have analyzed our politics in America today. Say that's the basic problem. One of the very, very basic problems is this very small group of radical Republicans go and vote, and the very small percentage of radical Democrats go and vote and pick the candidate that's going to run in the general election. 15% choose our government. What ails us? We ought to know what's going on. So the Declaration of Independence was very, very radical and very costly. 56 signers pledged their lives, their fortune, and their sacred honor. 5 were captured by the British and hung for treason. 12 had their homes destroyed by the British. Another 8 had their homes destroyed by vandals. There's a nice big empty house. Let's go see what it looks like. 2 lost sons in the war, and 9 of the signers lost their own lives in the Declaration, in the struggle. So, what are we going to do this Thursday? We're going to march and wave the flag? Oh, yes. The grocery stores are going to be busy before 4th of July. It's a celebration day, but it's a family day, and that's fine. But let's remember that it's also 4th of July, the birth of a nation, the birth of a declaration that is still so very, very, very much alive, endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. And among these is the right to the pursuit of life, happiness, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In my lifetime, in your lifetime, we saw the passage of the Civil Rights Bill. Not everybody was in agreement with that. Lyndon Johnson talking to his old friend, Senator Russell from Georgia. Senator Russell, Lyndon, you're not going to get my vote. I don't care what you do. You're not going to get my vote from Georgia. But Lyndon, let me tell you something. You're going to get this passed because you're the only one that could do it. He knew all the tricks, how to manipulate senators and congressmen. He knew all the tricks, how to bless them, how to thank them, how to hit them in the head. He knew all of that. He got it passed. Thank goodness it got passed. But we're still in the struggle. We're still in the struggle. In your lifetime, in my lifetime, we've seen the struggle for women to have equal rights. We now have more women in college than we have men. The men better wise up, I'll tell you that. We better smarten up and get to work. But they're still struggling, right? I mean, how do we have a woman teaching 6th grade and a man teaching 6th grade, and we have the idea that we ought to get different pay scales? That's not true around here, but in a lot of places it is. There's still a struggle going on. And how do we deal with equality for people whose sexuality is different than mine? It's affecting the United Methodist Church, isn't it? Affecting the United Methodist Church. There's a Democratic candidate who is known to be gay. He was criticized for being gay by another political leader, and he said, "Your problem, sir, was with my creator, not me." The struggle is alive, isn't it? It goes on in many different ramifications. So we stand up, we celebrate God's gift to us of life and of liberty, and join in the struggle. Thank you. If you'll turn, as we prepare for Holy Communion, if you'll turn